I didn't do that.
Gillette, a company supported by men for over a century, debuted a new ad crapping all over the very same men. The video featured sinister males bullying and sexually harassing what Gillette calls toxic masculinity. Yes, toxic masculinity, the term of endearment embraced by dismal teachers' lounges everywhere to smear an entire gender. Apparently, Gillette execs must have been reading Teen Vogue.
Bullying.
The Me Too movement against sexual harassment.
Masculinity.
Is this the best a man can get? Is it? We can't hide from it.
Sexual harassment is taking over.
It's been going on far too long. We can't laugh it off.
Who's the daddy?
What I actually think she's trying to say.
Making the same old excuses.
Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys.
But something finally changed.
Allegations regarding sexual assault and sexual harassment.
But she says
And there will be no going back. Because we believe in the best in men.
It's almost as if the people who make products for men hate men. So what is Gillette really trying to sell? Is it razors or itself? As the company loses market share to Dollar Shave Club, Gillette makes an ad that shafts the company's key audience just to score a few virtue points with the social justice mob. They say they're sparking conversation, but that's what they call it when they tie you to a chair and shout accusations at you, then ask you for money. But how enlightened is Gillette really? Look at these razors. The blue is for males, and the pink is for females. Talk about enforcing gender stereotypes. Now, the cowardly media, scared of the social media mob, backs the ad. Meanwhile, everybody else hates it. And Gillette will say it's because the ad spotlights bad male behavior, and we insecure rubes, we just can't handle it. No, it's because the ad sucks. Gillette didn't just condemn bad behavior, something most men do whenever they see it. It suggested the behavior represents the norm. It sold you out and judged you. Gillette said, you know, our consumers are beastly, and you should applaud us for being brave enough to say so. Sorry if we don't. We're too busy joining Dollar Shave Club. All right, Dana. That was pretty, did you know they were selling razors? What were they selling?
Oh, no, I think that you're right. They're trying, they really wanted us to talk about them.
Right.
I think that you're right. So, like, the more, and I was wondering about, remember when Nike did the ad for Colin Kaepernick? And it was like, what are they doing? And then their market share went way up, and they sold more shoes and products and all around the world. So perhaps younger men are going to like this ad. I don't know.
No, they are not.
I don't know.
I can guarantee you
I hope not.
no man likes that ad.
Also, I feel like, well, there needs to be more men in the lives of boys.
Oh, that's a good point.
In America.
That would be a good ad.
So men need to step up to the children that they father.
Yes.
They need to stick around, and they need to be there for their children. Like, this, to me, is actually a really important point. That would be a better ad.
Yeah, Jesse, they didn't address that part. They just, they bashed men who fought wars, who build bridges. They just bashed them.
Yeah, I don't want to feel guilty about the behavior of a few bad apples.
Yes.
I feel guilty enough over my own behavior. I don't need it to be pointed out.
You're one bad apple.
Right. So I also want a good shave. I don't want to have a conversation about anything, okay? The point of a razor is they're talking about a brand. I want to know about a product. Because you don't wear a razor. A razor is all about performance. It's about how it glides. It's about you don't get any nicks and cuts. It's about how nice the handle feels or how sharp it is. That's what it's about. I want to see the razor go down a man's face. And I want to see the cream come off like that. That's how I know it's good. I don't even know, like you said, what are they talking about? Who knows? This was, like you said, they're trying to suck up to the Madison Avenue people because they want to go viral, and they want everybody to be talking about how they're trending. But meanwhile, they're just making everybody feel guilty.
Well, you know, Katie, I think it's virtue signaling is now an insurance policy against social media mobs. They just know that they got to protect themselves, and they know that everybody in media and advertising is going to fall in line, because if they don't agree with it, then they could be persecuted.
And they pull the ads, right? Well, it's just stupid. Like, who are you trying to impress, right? I mean, the entire ad is insulting the very people who are their customers, and I'm getting really sick and tired of men in this country being demonized because of the behavior of other men. There are things that women do that are bad too, and if we want to talk about toxic masculinity, maybe we should talk about toxic femininity and toxic feminism, and the fact that taking men out of being masculine isn't going to make their behavior better. It's only going to take things that the country has built itself upon out of the picture and make the behavior worse. Men need men to show them how to be good people, to have morals and values. That doesn't mean they have to stop acting like men.
Yeah, there could have been a positive message, Juan, but in this case it was negative. The assumption being that men don't have sisters, don't have mothers, don't have daughters, granddaughters, that we actually love women. In this case, we're just awful people.
I really think you're off on this one. And I'm a guy, but I must say that when it comes to any talk about racism, the Steve Kings of the world, when it comes to misogyny, when it comes to bullying, you guys react like, oh, somebody's attacking the Republican Party. I'm like, what?
No, that's BS. That is pure BS. That had nothing to do with racism or Steve King.
You know what?
You are so wrong. Oh, my God.
And by the way,
Juan, that is so pathetic.
No, you
that
are
is embarrassing.
And you are out.
You're embarrassing
out
yourself.
of keeping with a company that's here to make money, just like we're talked about.
Yes,
Nike.
I agree.
Colin
Just to make
Kaepernick.
money.
Just to make money. Will you just give me a second? So what you have here is a company that I don't doubt tested this and found that men, in fact, are moving away from all men have to be stoic. All men have to project that they are extremely
Stoicism
is
growing.
You know what? You have a situation here where high rates of violence, high rates of depression, high rates of spousal abuse, men. Men understand that there is a change taking place. And I think it's also the case that as we see shifts in demographics about Hispanic men, black men, Asian men, that there's more and more open to the idea that, you know, it's a different definition of what it means to be Big Daddy in this country.
That made no sense at all.
Gillette is at the cutting edge of saying, hey,
cutting edge. Good one, Juan. That was good.
That made no sense. Okay.